Hello and welcome back to another episode of Teaching Partner. Imagine you are a teacher and you have just taught a fantastic lesson. The students seem engaged, they are nodding along, but then comes the big question. Did they actually learn what you wanted them to? This is where Bloom's taxonomy becomes your best friend. It's not a fancy buzzword, it's simply a ladder of thinking skills, from basic remembering to advanced creating. The real magic happens when we use this ladder to design our assessments, both the small check-ins and the big end of the unit tests. Let's break it down with some practical subject-specific examples. First, let's start with a foundational subject, history. For the topic of World War II, your assessment ladder might look like this. At the bottom, remembering a quick formative quiz asking, when did World War II end? This just checks for basic facts. Then understanding, ask them to summarize the main cause of the war in their own words. A perfect exit ticket. For applying a formative task could be use a map to chart the advancement of Allied forces. To assess analyzing, a great summative essay question would be compare and contrast the strategies of the European and Pacific theaters. For evaluating a debate or presentation, arguing which factor was most significant in ending the war is a powerful summative project. Finally, creating. The ultimate summative assessment could be asking students to create a detailed peace treaty proposal that addresses the causes of the war to prevent future conflict. Now let's apply this to science, say for a unit on ecosystems, remembering a vocabulary matchup worksheet for terms like producer and decomposer in a simple formative check. For understanding, have them explain the water cycle in a paragraph, another good formative step. For applying, a hands-on formative lab where they build a small terrarium and predict how changes might affect it. Analyzing is ideal for a summative test. Show them a graph of predator and prey populations and ask them to analyze the relationship. For evaluating, a summative report where they assess the impact of a local construction project on a nearby ecosystem, arguing whether the environmental safeguards are sufficient. The highest level creating could be summative project to design a balanced, sustainable ecosystem for a future Mars colony, incorporating all the cycles they have learned. For a subject like mathematics, take a concept like geometric angles. For remembering, a quick formative flashcard drill to identify acute, obtuse and right angles. Understanding, a formative worksheet where they have to define a complementary angle in their own words. For applying, a formative task where they use a protractor to correctly measure and draw angles of a given size. For analyzing, a summative problem set where they have to analyze a complex diagram with intersecting lines to find all the missing angles, explaining their reasoning. For evaluating, a summative project could involve evaluating the best angle for a solar panel on the school roof to maximize sunlight exposure. And for creating, they could design a mini golf hole that requires the ball of bank of two balls at specific angles to reach the hole, creating a diagram with all angles labeled. Finally, let's look at English literature, using a class novel like To Kill a Mockingbird. For remembering, a quick quiz on formative questions about the plot and characters. For understanding, a formative journal entry describing a scout's point of view on a key event. For applying, a formative task where students write a letter from one character to another, applying their knowledge of their personalities. For analyzing, a classic summative essay analyzing the symbolism of the mockingbird. For evaluating, a summative Socrative seminar where students judge with character showed the most moral courage and defined their choice. And for creating, a fantastic summative project where they storyboard and script a new movie adaptation, justifying their creative choices based on the book's theme. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video is very useful for you. So thank you very much. If you have any question, query, or you need any support for making a decision, don't hesitate to write an email to theteachingpartner@gmail.com. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Goodbye.